What is up YouTube, it's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we're here to discuss one of the most hated on decks in V-Series. We are going to be talking about Polaris. So if you've kept your ear to the ground over the past month or two, you've kind of heard about this card being just pretty much terrible. Not what Great Nature needed at all, things of that nature. I know there was kind of like a little bit of like a meme with Eric from, Vanguard Insider. I think he pulled the SP of this too. He was super sad about it. So I think in general there's a lot of like negative hype around this card, but at the same time too, I think there is a lot of potential. You need to approach this a little bit differently than you would your typical deck. This is an OTK deck, kind of like Negrobolt, which I still will be bringing to the channel, just doing a little bit more testing with it in general. But overall, if you approach it like that, I think this deck actually has a pretty cohesive strategy and it's actually really easy to get that 70k off and kind of restand both. So going second, OTK, let's get into it. And before we begin, I just wanted to quickly mention that if you are interested in purchasing any of the cards that you see here today, we do have a TCG player affiliate link down in the description below. You can shop through that link absolutely no cost to you to help support the channel. On top of that too, if you are interested in following us on Twitter, we post tournament results every week at locals, as well as just new videos, things like that. You can keep updated with us, interact with us on Twitter a bit more, so go follow us over there. And then lastly, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video, possibly consider subscribing to the channel. So thank you all in advance. Right, hopping right into it, starting off with the boss unit, there is a lot of interpretation within this deck and like room for some changes, but overall I kind of like what I am running, and let's start off with Mr. Polaris himself. So Battler of Twin Brush Polaris, its skill auto on Vanguard Circle once per turn. At the end of battle, this unit attacks, counterblast 1, choose up to one of your rear guards, and that unit gets this unit's power until the end of turn. Then if this unit's power is 50,000 or greater, stand that unit. If the chosen unit's power is 70,000 or greater, and your opponent's Vanguard is on grade 3 or greater, this unit stands, and then you have to also give this guy 15k until the end of turn. So really interesting because this kind of doubles up your power, so you can distribute power to this and then therefore give it to your other rear guard as well, have this guy restand, be a little bit more powerful, gains that natural power too if it's over 70k or greater. These are such unguardable columns, like it's really PG or GG in a lot of different instances. And if you are going second against another Excel deck, I think this kind of just blows it out of the water. A lot of force matchups can't stand up to this. Protect is a little bit easier just because they do have those PGs in hand, but 2 Vanguard swings and no minus drive check off that, as well as like some additional power, and you really don't need to swing with the entirety of your fields. You just have a lot of potential for kind of like a big blowout turn. So I'm running a lot of things in this deck. I'll explain why a little bit later in terms of power distribution. You'll kind of see it throughout the video, but just know that this guy gives the power to that rear guard. Super easy to hit that 70k with that in mind. So yeah, really nice. It does suck that it's locked behind that grade 3. But again, if you are going second, it's really good. And again, you could just blow them out with that one unit on if you're going first as well. Over here, next up, kind of interesting that I'm running it at 4 of, but I'll explain why in just a moment. I am still running 4 of Hamske's rival, Rocket Pencil Hamden. So Hamden is actually really good, again, giving power over here, so it's skill auto on Van or rear guard circle. When your other unit is placed on an additional rear, counterblast 1, put a card from your hand into your soul, and that unit gets this, and this unit gets 10k until the end of turn. If you have 2 or more additional rear guard circles, draw a card. So a little bit better in the late game, but at the same time, calling down a unit on an already buffed up circle is really good, giving that extra 10k power and giving itself the 10k power to kind of hit over some triggers. Let's say if your opponent's on force, or I'm sorry, not force, excel or protect, you can hit over their numbers. Again, if you boost this guy too, it can get over that the force number a little bit easier as well. So the drawing a card later in the game is decent. Overall, we're just really looking to give power, and the fact that you're putting things into soul, we have other things that give power that use soul, so I think that's why I went with 4 of this guy compared to the next card we're going to see. Compared to some other cards in general that you're going to see throughout the deck, because we do rip through the soul a little bit quick in this deck overall. So I like this guy, especially if you see 2 of them out on the field at once. You can activate both of them. It makes it just really, really impressive. Next up over here, again, if it gives power, it's pretty much in this deck. This is very similar to my Big Belly build. I really, really actually like that build a lot. Ironically, one of my most popular videos, I think, too. Pursuer of Perfect Circle, Flow Panther is another card we're including in here, and I am including it at a 4 of just because of its skill act on Van or rear guard circle once per turn. You get to cost Soul Blast 1, choose one of your units, and it gets an additional 10k until the end of turn. At the end of the turn, retire that rear guard chosen by the effect, and if this guy is on Vanguard Circle, draw a card. So it does have a Vanguard Circle effect. You never want to ride it, but Soul Blasting 1, giving one of your units 10k, really, really good. Multiple copies on this, on the field can all activate. 2 of these down, boom, spam 20k on 1 unit. And its second skill, when retired by rear guard by your card's ability, if you have a Vanguard with Big Belly in its name, you may put this unit into your soul. So that one does not count. We are not riding Big Belly. We don't run him in this deck. You could if you really want to. You could tech him in, and it kind of flows with the deck in a way. If you want to go first, maybe you have that Hamden, but at the same time, I just wanted to focus on Polaris on that first turn OTK. So first grade 3 turn OTK. Next up over here too, this is something I probably would maybe cut if I wanted to put in Big Belly, but I'm still running this at 4 of as well. A lot of grade 3s in this deck. Amber's Triangular continues on Van or Rearguard Circle during your turn. If you have no other rearguards in the same column as this unit, it gets an additional 10k, so put it on your Excel circle, boom, you're already at 32k. Its second skill, auto on Van or Rear. When this unit attack hits, one of your rearguards gets 10k until the end of turn. So again, too, if you're swinging with this, poking, they'll let hit, boom, one of your rearguards, just give it to itself. It's just distributing power when power really needs to go, and that is the big important thing in this deck. So I think that definitely deserves a spot at a 4 of. Again, if you wanted to kind of tech this out and put in the Big Belly just to kind of give yourself a little bit more options, I think that's an okay call as well. Next up, getting into the grade 2 lineup, I'm going to start with the 4 of over here. This is another card we used in Big Belly. This is going to be Measured Fossa. So Measured Fossa, I think, came out in the Isabel set. I think it came out in the Big Belly set, yeah. So this guy's skill, auto on Van or Rearguard Circle when placed from hand. Counterblast 1, look at 2 cards in the top of your deck, call up to 1 card from among them to Rearguard Circle, and put the rest into your drop zone. Its second skill, auto on Rearguard Circle once per turn. When it attacks, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your rearguards, it gets 10k until the end of turn, and at the end of turn, retire that unit. So again, the board clear is not really important because we're not really using Big Belly, but again, this is OTK. We're putting all of our chips on the line as soon as we can, and Soul Blast to give one of our, other rearguards 10k is big. The nice thing too, when placed from hand on Van or Rear, you can CB1 to get those additional units. Kind of start filling up your board a little bit more free because we do put cards from our hand into our soul for the Hamden effect as well. So I kind of like this guy. I think it does flow with the deck in general, and as such, I'm running it at that 4 of. Next up over here too, I'm only running 8 total, and I think this honestly could be 4 of this card over here, but I wanted to try this other one I'm going to talk about in just a second. But this guy is Compass Line. So Compass Line came out in one of the clan selections. This is a 13k base grade 2, and its skill, auto on Van or Rearguard Circle at the end of your turn. Choose one of your rearguards and retire. This effect is mandatory, so if you have this on Van, you're not retiring itself, it's fine. Don't really call anything else down because you don't want to neg early into the game. But on top of that too, it just really defensively helps us, just that 13k base. And Great Nature in general does not have like a crazy rush kind of grade 2 game or any early game whatsoever. I think that it's really kind of measured, and you wait for your grade 3 blowout turn, and this kind of just helps us get there. I might bump this up to 4. I'm not 100% sure. I'm using some of it for my premium build right now, so I just slotted in 2 for the moment. But this other card over here is viable. Again, this is just a counterblast, so that's the only reason I would say this is not, the best at certain times, but this is Lovey-Dovey Daughter, I think that's how to say it. Auto on Van or Rearguard Circle when placed, counterblast 1, put the top card of your deck into the drop zone, perform one of the effects below depending on the card's type. A normal unit, call that card to Rearguard Circle, and a trigger unit, this guy gets 15k. So again, either way, you're kind of plussing off of this, whether it be that 15k to help you hit that threshold, but perhaps this is the unit you're going to put on that Excel marker. Also, this guy over here can give itself another unit comes to Rearguard Circle. You could just high roll and get that one unit you really need. So I think it's decent. Again, only running 8 in the deck in general. If you want to run 9, I'll show you what you can cut in just a bit, but that is my build as of right now. Moving into the grade 1s over here. Obviously, we are looking for the Polaris, so have to kind of run the Searcher, Diligent Assistant, Mini Belly. This guy is the top 5 Searcher, the same as like all the other clans within Vanguard. Basically placed down from hand. You get to look at the top 5, add a grade 3 to hand, and if you added a grade 3, you can discard a card from your hand. And during your turn, if you have an additional unit on a Rearguard Circle, this guy gets 5k. So really not hard to hit that additional 5k. Again, just a little bit later into the game. Great Nature in general just doesn't have like a really fast kind of early game. There's no pressure early, so kind of sucks in that regard. But you do need the search power, so this is in there at a 4 of. Next up over here too, I'm glad this card did get reprinted because it's in a little bit of a higher rarity now, but this is going to be History Scholar Babushka. Bushboek, I think that's how to say it. Its skill, auto on Vanguard Circle when placed, discard a card from your hand, draw a card. So again, digging a little bit deeper into your deck, maybe for some of those key pieces. And its second skill is the real reason we want to use it. Auto on Rearguard Circle at the end of the battle this unit boosted, retire this unit, and then look at one of your rearguards and it gets an additional 10k until the end of turn. So again, just helping you hit that threshold, boosting the units. You could go into a Hamden and boost this guy with it. Instead of 22k, becomes a 30k, so it still gets over even a force unit that hit a trigger. So really nice. I do like this card. I think that is actually a really great addition to this deck. And then lastly, over here, aside from the starter, we are just running 1 of Silver Wolf. So Silver Wolf just helps us hit some decent numbers overall. Sometimes, like I said, instead of a 30k, it could be a 32k, which is more than like a 20k guard, more than a 1-card guard for an Excel or a Protect deck. So I really like this card. I think that it is decent. There's a lot of different things you can do, and if you want to cut one of this and add another grade 2, you can do that, but we are running a lot of grade 3s in this deck, and as such, I'd rather have 9 at the grade 1 slot than 9 at the grade 2 slot. So, yep. Moving right along then, obviously we are running a starter, and then let me pan out, we'll get right into the triggers. Alright, so the trigger lineup over here is pretty interesting. I am going rainbow, so I believe that there is a benefit off of every single trigger here. So again, this is, like I said, an OTK kind of deck. And by the way, I wish I had 4 of these. I just don't have. I have a bunch of them coming in the mail right now because I am actually building a premium version of Big Belly, but I have like 7 of these coming, so these will be swapped out for the regular grade 3. We need to survive the early game. We didn't make it to our grade 3 turn. Hopefully, you know, get to that second grade 3 turn if we went first. But overall, I think that we kind of benefit off of everything, because let me explain something about the fronts. When you hit that front, not only are you giving it to your Vanguard, but you're giving it to that rear guard as well, obviously, that you want to restand. And you're kind of doubling up. That counts as like a double trigger in a way, because you're giving all your power from your Vanguard over to your rear guard. So your Vanguard gets the power, your rear guard gets it twice in a way. So I think those are really good. And then the critical trigger, again, you're restanding something. So restanding your Vanguard with 2 crits in an Excel deck that is just like balls to the wall aggressive. I think that it is very, very like helpful. I think everything in this deck kind of works. You do need to guard some stuff out. The draws, you know, are really good for that. The draw PGs, you do need to survive into the late game, so the heal guardians are really good. Again, swap these other 3 for that grade 3 over here. You can run it with these over here, but at the same time, I think surviving the early game is a little bit more important in this deck overall. So, all right, cool. Let's hop into a test hand, and I'll show you guys how the deck kind of plays out. Alright, let's shuffle up over here and get started with our test hand. Overall, very fun deck. This definitely is like an OTK deck, though. You know, if you're looking for something that can kind of go the distance, this deck definitely is not really it. But if you're looking for something that's high roll, blow your opponent out immediately, this deck is really fun. And I think this is pretty budget overall. These cards can be had for really cheap at this point. I think this deck should probably cost around like 30 bucks maybe. And I think it, you know, it's fun. It's going to take people by surprise. You know, a lot of people don't know how to play against it, so it has that rogue element to it. And if you are into OTK kind of stuff, this is actually really fun. So I'm going to actually mulligan pretty aggressively here. I'm going to put back 1, 2, 3. If you don't see the Polaris early, like, you kind of have to do that, because like without the Polaris, everything just kind of sucks in this deck. So, oh, there we are. Get the Polaris. Again, if I didn't put the 3rd one back, I would not have gotten that. So that's pretty cool. Shuffle up over here, and you guys see I'm not rigging the deck. It's clearly is shuffled. There we go. All right. No breaks in the video. And we are going to stand and draw for our turn. We're going to pretend we go second, so they're already on there. Grade 1, so we are going to just ride. Unfortunately, it has to be this one. But let's see. Discard a card from my hand, draw a card. Am I going to do that? Yeah, let's discard a little shield. We're going to draw a card and then draw a card for the skill. Alright, cool. So we do get some powerful units over here helping us. We do get the grade 2. We have choice with the grade 2. Yeah, nice. Alright, so let's go and swing at our opponent now. Boom, front trigger. Alright, pass it over to our opponent. Let's take 1 damage. Alright, let's take 2 damage because we didn't hit a trigger. Okay. We are going to stand and draw. And again, they went first here, so that's why I took 2. You know what, let's be a little bit more defensive. Let's just hold on to all of our stuff. Let's make sure that our big unit can get really big towards the end over here. We're going to ride this guy and then just swing 13k base. Way front trigger again, oh my gosh. And we're going to pass it over to our opponent. Let's take 1 damage. Alright, let's take 1 more. Alright, we do get a heal, nice. So let's pretend we do heal out right there. Makes things a little bit easier on us. Let's guard 1 attack. Let's take 1 more, let's say. Okay, and that'll do it. There we are, stand and draw. Oh my gosh, another front trigger in my hand. Can't stand it. Alright, so let's go over here. And since I went second, and this is the OTK build, I'm honestly just going to go into Excel 1, I think. Just because it helps you hit that threshold so much easier. It's not really a big deal. Alright, so let's go. Let's see what else we want. Let's hit him over here. Let's use his skill, counterboss 1, put a card from our hand into our soul. We're going to be foregoing some shield, but that's okay. We are going to give him 10k as well as the card that we were placing over here. So 10k from himself now that he's not boosted by anything. 10k from that makes it a 32. Right, 10k, 10k, 10k. Yeah, this is already a 42k base, which is pretty cool. Measured fossil, let's put over here. Let's actually use its skill too. Plus 1, put 2 cards on top of my deck, put the rest of my drop. Alright. 2 cards, 1 and 2. Gonna put 1 into my drop, gonna put the Polaris away. I am gonna boost him. I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna boost him. I'm gonna boost him as well. Alright, cool. Now let's get rocking over here. So we are going to, I put a card from my, I put a card from my hand into my soul. I think I am going to swing over here. I'm gonna soul blast 1. I'm gonna give this guy another 10k. So this will then become, that is 52k base. End of battle. We're just gonna retire this card over here. And then we're gonna give another rear guard that thing. So this is a 62k base. Same deal over here. Actually, no, let's not do that because I'm going to give him the power and he's going to go over that 70k threshold already. So let's just swing. This is going to be 12k at my van, at my opponent's van. I mean 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to give the power here because I'm going to heal. 1 out, let's say. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to swing with this guy afterwards, so let's just say I swung there. And then at the end of the battle this attack, I'm going to counterblast 1. And then let's go. Did I already counterblast for that? No, I think I did. Did I counterblast? I don't know. I don't remember if I just counterblast or not. But overall, we're going to counterblast, restand this guy, give him the power. So we just give him an extra 22k, 62. So this is an 82k base right here. We're going to restand this guy. He gets plus 15, so this is a 27k. So we are now going to swing again 27k at my opponent's fan. 1 and 2. Okay. So again, hand size not crazy. I don't really have like a ton of shield. Maybe I'll live through the next turn, who knows. But I do have really big attacks overall. We're going to pop this guy now, give it over to him. And again, this is kind of PG or GG. I think we're hitting like 100k or something like that, 102 over there. But that is basically the strategy. As you can see, super easy to hit some of these numbers. If you had some of the Panther as well, you don't have to boost these units. You can just pop the Panther in the back row, make sure that it is giving off that 10k over there. A lot of different ways to hit those power threshold, and just such a consistent deck overall. So I think you guys, if you pick this up, you definitely will enjoy it. I don't think it's like a very conventional strategy. I feel like it's very much on the line of Big Belly if you were into that deck. You know, this is kind of like singular Big Belly where you're focusing on one unit, whereas Big Belly previously just kind of spread it all over the board. So kind of pick your poison in that regard. Thank you guys again so much for watching. This is Alex from Team Generations signing out.